Back in 2018, the SFUSD School Board unanimously voted to change the name of Jordan Middle School to Green Middle School, named after Frank S. Green, an African-American venture capitalist who founded a venture capital firm focused on minority groups. They also voted to change the name of Terman Middle School to Fletcher, after the former Palo Alto City Council member Ellen Fletcher, who helped the growth of cycling in the community. This decision came after David Starr Jordan and Louis Terman's involvement in eugenics came up in discussions within the community. For the past 3 years, San Francisco is having its own school naming controversy. In May of 2018, the school district commissioned a panel of community members to identify the criteria of schools which should be renamed. According to a San Francisco Chronicle article published earlier this year, the criteria was schools named after anyone connected with colonizing or owning slaves, perpetrators of genocide or slavery, those involved in exploitation, abusers of women, children, or the LGBT community, human rights or environment abusers, and racists, white supremacists, or those who espoused racist beliefs. In January, the board voted in favor of renaming 44 schools who fit this criteria. At George Washington High School, one of the 44 schools that was voted to be renamed in January, students had varying opinions about the name change. Some students cited that the funds used for changing the name of the high school could be used for improving the curriculum, or for the reopening of schools instead. Other students claimed that the current school name doesn't affect them, but understands that it could affect other students, whose ancestors were oppressed by figures such as Washington. During a January school board meeting, Commissioner Allison Collins of the San Francisco School District shared a different perspective regarding the name changes.
This is why name changes are important. It's an opportunity for us to grow and be better. And nobody's ever going to forget Lincoln or Washington, but it's also an opportunity for us to learn about new people and create more space for more communities and more visibility.
The public reaction to the school board's decision was generally negative. San Francisco students, parents, and educators pointed out the flawed criteria which applied to around 40 of San Francisco schools, as well as the board's prioritization over the renaming of schools rather than the reopening of schools during the pandemic. Just a few weeks ago, on February 21st, due to frustration from the community, the SF School Board decided to postpone the renaming. SFUSD President Gabriela Lopez wrote in a tweet, "I acknowledge and take responsibility that mistakes were made in the renaming process." Lopez added that the reopening of SF schools will be the school board's focus until schools are opened. The board president finished her tweet with an important message: "Our kids are counting on us." After many heated debates between the board, parents, and administration, one thing still stands: the importance of educating the next generation should not be undermined. For InFocus, I'm Aneesh Tiwari.